There is a paradox in the world of attraction that confuses most men. The ones who seem to try the least, who appear almost indifferent, are often the ones who are chased the most. While the men who give everything, who invest all their time and attention, who are constantly available, find themselves being pushed away. It does not make sense on the surface. But beneath the surface, there is a psychological mechanism at work that the Stoics understood centuries ago. When a man masters himself, when he can control his own emotions, something happens. His presence changes. He becomes harder to ignore. He becomes someone women naturally want to pursue. Let us break down what it means to be a Stoic man in the context of dating. The Stoic man has mastered his emotions. He is calmer and more patient. He does not let his feelings rule his head. He does not live reactively, driven by every passing impulse. He has developed the ability to observe his emotions without being controlled by them. This is not about being cold or distant. It is about being grounded. It is about having the self-control to not let your feelings dictate your actions. The non-Stoic man, on the other hand, lets his emotions rule him. He is reactive. He lives from how he is feeling in any given moment. He is impatient. He tries to force things. When he starts gathering feelings for a woman, he cannot control himself. He overtexts. He overpursues. He pushes too hard, too fast. And in doing so, he pushes her away. There is a reason patience and calm are so powerful in dating. When you are patient with a woman, you allow her to be herself. You are not forcing things. You are not needy or insecure. You are present with her. And in that presence, she feels safe enough to let her guard down. When a woman feels that you are rushing things, even if you are not saying it with words, she can sense it. Her guard goes up. And when her guard is up, she cannot experience feelings of love, admiration, or sexual attraction. She is too busy worrying about what your next move is going to be. But when you are calm, when you are patient, when you are just being silly and having a good time together, her guard comes down. And once her guard is down, she can fall in love with you much faster. The Stoic man understands something that most men never grasp. It is not about trying harder, it is about trying less. It is about doing nothing in the sense of not forcing, not pushing, not pressuring. It is about creating a space where she feels free to come to you. The philosopher Epictetus wrote that we should not seek to have events happen as we wish, but to wish them to happen as they do happen. When you are patient, when you allow things to unfold naturally, you are aligning yourself with reality. You are not fighting against the current. You are flowing with it. And that flow is what makes you attractive. There is another psychological phenomenon that makes this even more powerful. Limerence. Limerence is when you know someone, and yet you have made them out to be perfect in your head. You obsess over them. You put them on a huge pedestal. You may have only spent a few hours with them, but you are already head over heels. This is common, but it is also the enemy of a Stoic approach. If you are experiencing limerence, it will be even more difficult for you to remain calm and patient. Your feelings will be so intense that they will override your judgment. You will want to chase, to text, to force things. You will act out of desperation rather than strength. And desperation is the ultimate attraction killer. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, whose work often touched on the nature of human desire, observed that anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. When you are anxious about a relationship, when you are desperate to control the outcome, you are dizzy with the fear of losing something you never really had. But the Stoic man is not anxious. He is grounded. He understands that he cannot control whether she likes him. He cannot control whether she responds to his messages. He cannot control the final outcome. What he can control is his own response. He can control whether he acts from desperation or from strength. He can control whether he chases or whether he waits. And that control is what makes him magnetic. Consider the differences between these two approaches. The man who is not Stoic is impatient. He tries to force things. He overtexts. He double-texts. He cannot handle the uncertainty of waiting for her to respond. He does not take advice that tells him to slow down because his emotions are too overwhelming. The Stoic man, on the other hand, is calm. He is patient. He follows a clear set of principles. He waits for her to come to him. He does not chase. He does not over-pursue. He creates a space where she feels safe and free to be herself. And because of that, she is much more likely to fall in love with him. There is a common misconception that being stoic means being cold or unfeeling. It does not. It means being in control of your feelings. It means not letting your emotions overpower your judgment. The stoic man can still feel deeply. He can still have strong feelings for a woman. But he does not let those feelings make him act in ways that are counterproductive. He does not let his desire to be with her push him to do things that will actually push her away. He has the self-discipline to wait. He has the patience to let things develop naturally, and that patience is what ultimately wins her over. When a woman meets a man who is calm, patient, and grounded, something happens. She feels safe. She feels like she can be herself without pressure. She does not feel like she is being rushed or pushed into something she is not ready for. She can relax and enjoy the connection, and in that relaxed state, her feelings can grow naturally. The philosopher Simone Weil wrote that attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. When you give a woman your full attention, without agenda, without demand, you are offering her something that most men never give. You are offering her the experience of being truly seen. And that experience is intoxicating. The stoic man also understands the importance of being fun and making her laugh. When you are silly and playful together, you are building a bond that is not based on pressure or expectation. You are creating joy. And joy is a powerful emotion. When a woman associates you with joy, she will want to be around you more. She will want to spend more time with you. And the more time she spends with you, the more her feelings will grow. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, whose work often explored the nature of power and human motivation, observed that there is always some madness in love. But there is also always some reason in madness. The stoic man does not deny the madness of love. He simply does not let it control him. He lets it exist, but he does not act on impulse. He acts on principle. There is another benefit to being patient and stoic. When you do not force things, you allow the relationship to develop at its own pace. You do not rush into intimacy before she is ready. You do not push for commitment before she is comfortable. You let things evolve naturally. And when they do, they are much more likely to last. Relationships that are forced are relationships that break. Relationships that develop naturally are relationships that endure. The philosopher Seneca wrote that a wise man is content with himself. Be the man who does not need anyone, yet is wanted by everyone because of his presence. When you are content with yourself, when you are not desperate for her approval, you become someone she naturally wants to be with. It is also worth noting that this approach does not just apply to men. Women who are calm, patient, and grounded also attract men more easily. The same principles apply across the board. When you are not needy, when you are not desperate, when you are not trying to force things, you become more attractive. It is a universal truth of human psychology. The philosopher Epictetus wrote that we should not seek to have events happen as we wish, but to wish them to happen as they do happen. When you are patient, when you allow things to unfold naturally, you are aligning yourself with reality. You are not fighting against the current. You are flowing with it. And that flow is what makes you attractive. If you have ever felt the urge to overtext, to double text, to push for a response, to rush into intimacy, to force a commitment, you are not alone. These urges are natural, but they are also counterproductive. The stoic man does not act on every urge. He observes the urge and then chooses whether to act on it. He does not let his emotions control his behavior. He does not let his desire for her push him to do things that will push her away. He has the self-discipline to wait. He has the patience to let things develop naturally. And that patience is what ultimately wins her over. In the end, the stoic man wins not because he tries harder, but because he tries less. He does not chase. He does not force. He does not pressure. He simply is. And in being himself, he creates a space where she feels safe enough to open up, to let her guard down, and to fall in love with him. That is the power of Stoicism in dating. It is not about tricks or techniques. It is about becoming the kind of man who does not need to chase, because he is someone worth catching. If this video spoke to you, drop a comment below and let me know what shift you are going to make. Subscribe and hit the bell for more Stoic wisdom. Share this with a man who needs to hear it. Stay grounded, Stay present, and I will see you right here in the next one.